women. This is a big one. So maybe we can go into the Q&A time a little bit. All right, we'll allow for Q&A, so I'll kind of, But are women lesser citizens in Islam? When you look around, you see the women are all covered, right? Men aren't covered like women are covered. The idea here, first of all, is that women and men are equal in the eyes of God. They are equal in their rights. They are equal in the sense that they are part of society just as much as men are. However, they have different requirements. The obligations of women and men are slightly different in certain aspects, not in everything. What is the status of a woman? Islam calls women the other halves of men. The word used is shaqa'iqul rijal. They're the sisters of men. A coin has two sides. Each side is a shiq al-ayman, shiq al-aysar. The right side versus the left side. They complete each other. Without man, there is no woman. Without woman, there is no man. They're the same. Now, mind you, this is 1400 years old. This is from a time where women were sold and bought by their husbands. If a man didn't want his wife anymore, he could sell her to someone else. If a man died, she was inherited along with his inheritance. That's how the Arabs, the pagan Arabs, lived before Islam. Islam kind of said, nope, they're the same. Now, one scholar I liked, he elevated the status of Muslims and defined them as a mother, a homemaker, and an honor that must be protected. And if you look at that, just hear that right off the bat, you think, oh, really? I'm supposed to be a mother? I'm a baby-making machine? No, that's not what that means at all. I'm supposed to be a homemaker, so I'm supposed to stay at home and not work? No, Islam actually allows women to work, allowed them to work 1400 years ago, and still does. The idea here is that what is the highest person? Who is the most eligible person for your friendship and your respect in society? Prophet, peace be upon him, is dead. Who's left? Who's the highest person? It's your mother. Prophet ﷺ was asked, who is the person that deserves my friendship the most? And he said, your mother. He said, okay, then who? He said, your mother. He said, then who? He said, your mother. He said, okay, then who? He said, your father. So 3 times he emphasized the mother before the father. When we say she's a homemaker, think of society as a building. What's the first block you put into the building? What are those blocks? Those are families. If you can produce a good family, to raise good kids, to lead into the future, you're setting up the best blocks for society. Who's in charge of that? The homemaker. That's the woman. Men's responsibilities are to provide, to protect. But the responsibility of a woman is really high. So when somebody says, what do you do for a living? And you say you're a homemaker, you shouldn't feel bad. You're not a lesser person because of that. 1 minute. That was a long 1 minute though before. Thank you.
I'll give you the benefit of that.
Thank you. All right. So, some of the rights that Islam provided for women. The right to vote. That right wasn't enforced in the US until the early 1900s. The right to education. Early on, all of it, early on in Islam. All right? The right to inheritance, as I mentioned. The choice of husband. People are under the misconception that we have forced marriages. Forced marriages is not an Islamic idea at all. Forced marriage is not an Islamic idea at all. It is a cultural thing, however, in many places in the world. That's why it's misconstrued as Islamic. Work and invest. In the United States, go 200 years back, or probably less, women were not allowed to own property, let alone start a business. That right was given to them from the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And again, this is directly after they were bought and sold themselves. They were the property. They have a right to divorce. They can plead, I have a problem with my husband, I need to get a divorce. And obviously they have the right to protection. It is a duty of the man to protect the women, to provide for them, So if somebody does something bad to a woman, not only our own relatives, but any woman, it is the duty of man to protect them. So beating and lashing in the street randomly, that's not allowed. Maybe back in 2001 you saw a lot of that on the news. Try to get that out of there. All right. So that's